The Kuala Lumpur High Court will decide on April 28 whether or not it will discharge Karpal Singhs Sedition trial because the written consent for prosecution issued by the Attorney General, Sri Abdul Ghani Patail, is questionable. Judicial Commissioner Azman Abdullah witnessed Karpal representing himself in court, raising the preliminary objection by arguing that the written consent preceding the charge against him did not explain in detail on the seditious words allegedly uttered by him. Speaking to reporters later, he said that the written consent does not fulfill the requirements under Section 5 of the Sedition Act 1948.
No, the lampiran was in the charge. No, not in the consent. Had it been in the consent, the lampiran, perfectly alright, there is no problem. It wasn't there. In the consent, it is just kata-kata menghasut. Seditious words. What were the words? All that should have been in the mind of the prosecutor before he decided. So in this case, he could not have decided according to law. He could not have applied his mind to something which he did not have before him. It's as simple as that.
While Senior Federal Counsel, Dato' Kamaluddin Mohamad Said says that it is not mandatory for the written consent to state details of the offence. He adds it is the charge where the prosecution relied on that actually matters. Karpal adds that if the ruling cites him, other previous cases under the Sedition Act like Penang Chief Minister Lim Guan Eng case, which was prosecuted with a similar written consent and found guilty, can be reviewed.
If this court rules that the consent was in fact defective, then this will affect a lot of other cases, including the case of Penang Chief Minister Lim Guan Eng. So he was charged, and the consent there was similar to this consent which I am now saying is defective. And there are a number of other cases too. For example, the first case was the case of Ui Ki Sheikh, Chairman Penang DAP. He was charged for sedition in 1971, if I'm not mistaken, convicted. And I think in that case also was a similar consent.
Karpal is confident of his arguments but adds that it's ultimately up to the court to decide. On February 6, Karpal was alleged to have uttered seditious words in relation to the role of Sultan Azlan Shah during the para-political crisis during a press conference at his office. However, he pleaded not guilty to sedition in the Session Court on March 16. The case was then transferred to the High Court after Kamaluddin's request.